To Across the Ring. My name is William Mayhem Michaels.
And this is the scientist, Carl Schupfer, and today we're here with Dolan. How are you?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, bro. Hey, Dolan, before we get started, why don't you tell everyone at home a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Dolan Shaw. Um, I hail from a small town just outside of Augusta, Maine, which is as far northeast as you can get from here. Definitely a switch going from snowy, cold climate to dry heat. Um, I came up on in a small town. I was a farm boy, threw hay. Um, Watched everybody get taller than me. For anybody who's seen me out there before, when it comes to wrestling, it's something that I fell in love with from a very young age. So
Who first introduced you to wrestling?
that would have to be my dad. I remember those times, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, sitting in front of the TV with my dad. Anytime there was WrestleMania on or pay-per-view, we sat and watched Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown every week. And to this day, I still watch everything, including NXT. I just it the wrestling life kind of consumed me.
That's a lot of wrestling. I mean, between training and that's 10 hours at least of wrestling a week to watch. That sounds like quite a bit of wrestling. Do you have some favorites from like when you were a kid that kind of inspired you to wrestle?
One of my favorites, of course, a lot of people know this one, know him very well. Um, when I was growing up was I remember right around the time I was coming up of age, I remember watching Goldberg walk onto the scene. Not gonna lie, the man brought some intensity to the game. Um, I know that's a pretty big fan favorite. A lot of people know him, a lot of people love him. Some people have their mixed words for him. It doesn't matter. It's how I saw him, and I saw him as somebody that was just out there for a fight. Um, Other than him, I definitely got to say I love watching Ric Flair. He brought a different flair, as you'd say it, to the ring. Um, I mean, the man still is involved with wrestling today, and exactly how old?
Right.
That man, wrestling is his life, and that's kind of how I feel about wrestling. So that's a big thing that relates me to Ric Flair.
Oh, yeah. And I get that, especially being from the South. What really throws me off, though, is you're the second guy on this show to say Goldberg. And for me, I was a huge Goldberg fan, but in the world of wrestling, I would not say he's the best. Not even close. Not even a little bit. But what really drew you to Goldberg outside of the intensity?
The fact that he was even behind a lot of the scenes, he was a big family man, and that's kind of how it was for me. He loved going out, whether his son was little or grown of age nowadays. He loved going out and putting on a show for his family, for everyone who actually knew and cared for Goldberg. I know he played football. He put all into that. From one dream to the next, I guess, is kind of how he took life.
That's a pretty cool reason. I like that, like beyond just who he was as a wrestler, really respecting who he is as, his character as a man, it's cool that that inspires you as much as what he did between the ropes. So you spent your whole life watching wrestling. What first kind of inspired you to then train to be a wrestler?
Well, in the same manner that I was just speaking from one dream to the next, as a lot of people know, a lot of people see me in the ring sporting the military gear and sporting the American flag on my shoulder, waving backwards like it does every time you're running into battle. I'm former military. Um, I spent the better part of 3 years in the military doing what my whole family, a lot of my family, have actually done. I have uncles, brothers, sisters, my dad, my grandfather. Um, I've had a lot of people who spent their time in the military. I ended up getting injured, kind of like I am right now. Um, I messed up my left knee, and it was going to take too long for me to recover. So they gave me a 517 honorable medical discharge. At that moment, kind of the same way as getting injured for Goldberg, it was, well, what do I do now? I spent the better part of 2 to 3 years in the gym, day in and day out, busting my butt to really get my knee back in shape. And then I was watching wrestling one day, and I was like, where I come from, too small a town, there's not really any place to train out there. So I started looking online, and I found a place to which I wrestle for now, which is the Arizona Wrestling Federation. And I walked in there day one, and I'm still here today.
That's pretty awesome. It's cool that, you seem like, you have this mentality of like, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. I just figure out what's next, like very much a like, well, there's something for me. I'm just going to figure out what it is, and not really letting yourself get down on yourself. I think that's pretty inspiring.
At the end of the day, life talks to you, and you just got to be quiet and listen.
Absolutely. So, as you're training and you're kind of learning wrestling and stuff like that, I know, Goldberg is someone that, really inspires you. When it comes to like your wrestling style and things like that, who are some wrestlers that you feel like inspire, how you wrestle in the ring?
Honestly, a lot of the wrestlers that I have to say will take everybody back to the attitude era, because that's kind of how I am in the ring. I want to show the aggression, the attitude, the intensity. I want to show people that you don't have to be the biggest guy in the ring to bring the biggest fight. Like I said previously, I'm not the biggest guy. I weigh 170 pounds, maybe 175 soaking wet. But I train day in and day out to hone my craft, because I don't want to be better than anybody else. Honestly, I want to be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
The only way to do that is to continue training.
Heck yeah. And so getting into wrestling, who do you say is one of your biggest influences and who supported you the most when you got into wrestling?
The person or persons, so to say, that really influenced me the most would have to be, and this may sound some way, but my girl, because she's been there at every training, every event, helping me get there, from helping make sure I have all my gear, make sure I'm ready to go, being behind the camera to record anything I needed recorded, to pretty much being there to say, get up, keep going, get up, keep going. Even on the days where I didn't want to get out of bed because my body hurt, she said, no, get up, we're going. We got a workout we got to get in. We've got an event we got to do. There's always something, and she always keeps me going. Other than that, it would, after getting into wrestling, it would have to be.
As we were talking, you're saying that your biggest influence is your girl. It sounds like you're saying she's kind of been there for you through thick and thin, and motivated you in times of weakness. Making sure that you're continuing to chase your goals, and I think that's really special. I feel like everybody needs that person in their corner, and it's cool that she's that for you.
Absolutely.
Especially having 2 kids. When I'm wrestling, I'm not there to take care of them, but she steps up. She does the work that needs to be done.
Yeah, that's really cool. Do your kids come to the shows?
My kids have been at just about every AWF show that I've been to.
That's pretty awesome. That's cool. Like when I was a kid, I would have loved to get to go to a ton of wrestling shows. So they must be super excited to get to see a ton of wrestling like that.
Absolutely. My oldest daughter loved it. She gets to go out back. She gets to say hi to some of the other wrestlers. Get to take the pictures. And I know as a kid myself, I would have loved that opportunity I didn't exactly have that much of an opportunity. I came up from a small town where my family never really had a whole lot of money. We came up and did everything ourselves.
Yeah, and I can relate to that. I think that that's why it's so important to have that significant other that's so supportive, because me and Cora both have our significant other, and they're super supportive, even though sometimes they want to kill us. Let's be honest.
Oh,
But
I know. I feel that 100%.
but they're both very, very, very super supportive, and I mean, honestly, we got super lucky with the type of support that we have.
Right. I mean, but on another side of it, when it comes to the wrestling side of it, since I got into wrestling, I'd have to say, when it comes down to the wrestling part, my biggest motivator and influencer would have to be my trainer. He said some things to me that have helped me get through some of the mental blocks that every wrestler deals with, that we all have to build and overcome. Biggest thing that he said to me is that he sees a lot of me in him, or him and me, the other way around. The passion, the drive, the intensity, and just getting in the ring and feeling completely at home.
I love that. That's really cool. Having a good mentor, and especially, and a coach like that can really make, a huge difference. It can be the difference between, trying out and, kind of giving up, or, it becoming, your life, and you kind of growing as you continue to do this. That's pretty special. We touched a little bit, you said you have a family. What kind of stuff are you doing when you're not doing wrestling stuff?
Well, up until recently, before my tragic injury, that didn't go the way I wanted it to go that weekend, but I'm still here and I'm still alive, and I'm gonna fight another day. That's for sure.
Do you want to talk about the injury a little bit after this, just to talk about like what happened and stuff like that?
Yeah, we can absolutely touch base on that.
All right, go ahead and jump in what you're going to say. Sorry about that.
Outside, up until I got injured, I'm a auto mechanic. I can do everything from pull and rebuild your engine to putting upgrades and aftermarket parts on. Everything from suspension, exhaust, all that. Not a big body man, but I can do body work. For anybody who's listening, hit up your guy. I'm always willing to do
Side hustle.
work on the side, of course. Most recently, I've taken a step in a different direction because I train a lot. Like, I was in the gym before I was here for this interview today. Like, there ain't a day that goes by that I don't find time to be in the gym, except for my rest days. Everybody needs rest days. I'm looking to be a fitness consultant for EOS Fitness in the Valley, and I am pushing to really between the gym and the ring. Those are my homes. Those are where I feel free. I feel my most self. So now I get to not only work in a gym, but I work out in a gym, and then I also have training. So
Yeah, that's
honestly, awesome. I don't do a whole lot. I mean, I might find a Friday here and there where I go and take some of my off-road toys and go and play in some mud or some.
Weighing 171 pounds.
Hey, that sounds a lot like I used to drive a Wrangler, and they always say, it can go everywhere, just not anywhere fast. And it sounds like, that.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's got a Detroit locker in the rear on 35s. That thing can tow a house to the ground, but it
I love it.
can't win a race.
It's not gonna win.
Hey, that saves you a lot of money on speeding tickets, though.
Yeah, it did. It also taught me how to drive slow.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I've never gotten to off road with anything that big. We've got like four-wheelers and stuff like that in my family. But that sounds like a lot of fun. I always thought it'd be super cool to do something like that. So it's really neat to get to talk with somebody that does that kind of stuff and works on cars to be able to do that, because it's all fun and games riding around tearing up mud and whatnot. But I'm sure there's enough times where you come home from that and you have one thing or another you got to fix, and
For
that's
sure.
Every time.
Just
undertaking.
the other night. Let's not even get into it.
Yeah.
The other night.
I used to do mudding as well, Carl. For those who don't know that, I used to be real big into that, and I did the whole 9 yards, rhino liner, the inside of my car, took off the doors, all that good stuff. But the thing is, what we used to always say: if you go out and it doesn't cost you $1,000, did you really go out? Like,
Woo.
yeah.
Brutal. Man. Well, switch gears a little back a little bit. You were talking about you had an injury recently, and I'm sure a lot of people are curious, what exactly happened.
Well, about a month ago at the Arizona Wrestling Federation All-American Grand Slam, I was in a big six-pack challenge match. We had some pretty good fighters. We had the Monster campaign. I mean, come on, that's a big dude.
He's massive.
There was Chuy Gonzalez, an upcomer who's doing great right now on the indie scene. All props to him. But it would be due to an injury. He pulled that pin on him. Let's just put it at that. If I were
Pulled his pin on the injury guy.
yeah, kind of he found a mark, he found an injury, he found a weakness, and he exploited it. I gave him the victory, so all props to him. Then we had Lorenzo. He's alright.
I like calling him Pretty Boy.
Yeah, he
Lorenzo.
likes the boys,
He's a
kisses,
pretty
and painted
boy.
nails, but I mean, he's an upcomer too. I'm pretty sure only scratched the surface of what he's capable of. So
Guarantee it.
there's nothing that can be said at this moment. Just that keep training, and you'll see the best. I guess the best way to bring the best in yourself out is keep training. On top of that, we also had El Lycan, who's been popping over the scene recently. He's doing pretty good.
He's not a small guy either.
Yeah, no, he's a decently built dude.
You know, him and Capane are the same height.
They're the same height. Capane definitely got him beat in the weight range for sure.
Steve's working on it.
Yeah, he did.
He's definitely working on
With his all liking size, as long as he keep drinking that wolf blood or whatever.
it. No time.
Extra calories, guy. And then we have Sincere Mac. Now, I've been to war with this guy multiple times already. We've also teamed up a couple times, if anybody's been paying attention close enough. We were able to team up a few months prior to put the Monster Capane to the ground, which for any guy, that's a feat. It may have taken a couple guys to do it, but that's a feat.
Big boy.
That's a big boy.
He makes me look little, Carl. If that puts it in perspective.
Hey, watch out!
He's a big boy. But
big boy and all, I still knocked him out the ring at the six-pack challenge with my Abrams bullet. Two headbutts later, and I don't care how big you are, all you gotta do is hit that sweet spot with a headbutt. Lights go out.
So exactly how did the injury happen in this match in this 6-man back?
So like I said, I've been to bat near Mac quite a few times. Now we were in the match. I had a chance to see him in the locker room before the match, and I had pitched the idea to work together again to try to take out Payne, but he didn't want to listen. he went behind my back and did a few things that were shysty. So I said to hell with it, and I sent my body sailing like I have done many times before. And just so happens this time I caught the top rope and didn't make the distance and crashed to the ground. Sounds as bad as it was.
Yeah, it was rough.
About 9.5 feet straight to the ground hurts.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody watched the video, but my feet still connected with him, so I hit him somehow. But the biggest thing about my injury is I came back out.
Yeah,
And
you
I think
did.
when I came back out through the curtain, that's when everybody was like, "Oh, okay, holy shit, this guy's a contender.
Finish the show.
He's here to soldier on." And I
Yeah.
brought the emphasis of who I was before wrestling, being in the military, fighting. The fight goes on. You got to keep going. You got to get up. Got to keep going. I brought that in, and I came back out, finished the match. Now I didn't get the win, but I definitely came back out, and I stood toe to toe with the pain once again, even injured and all. So
Wow. Well, that's inspiring. I think that's really cool. Uh, it takes a lot of guts and a lot of willpower to fight through injury to do something like that. It's shit hurts, and when you're injured, that only makes shit hurt worse. So that's pretty incredible to kind of finish that out.
Did you say will?
I did say that.
Well, there's a will, there's a way. Do you not have enough energy in the day? Well, guys, let me show you the solution. It's called Doobie. Doobie is great because it's all the energy without the crash. Remember, guys, drink Doobie. That's fantastic.
I have to give me some of that for my next match. I get injured, take a little bit of that, boom, I'm back on my feet, go again.
That'll be
Doobie.
like your spinach. It's like Popeye, but with a new twist. I love it.
One of these days, I'm gonna make Carl do that fucking fetch, so I'm not the one looking like an idiot every time.
Hey, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Top salesman right there.
Hey, hell yeah. Yeah. So you're going through a lot right now. It sounds like you're trying to really train through this recovery, get back as soon as you can. You're a really focused guy. I'm sure it's going to happen for you. Once that happens, though, what are some of your goals upon returning to the ring? Like, what are some short-term goals, and then maybe some long-term goals around what you see yourself doing?
My short-term goal, first things foremost, I want to get trained. I want to get back in the ring because there's definitely some boil between me and Chewy. He picked the injured guys to sneak that win. I want to see if he can do it again without me being injured this time.
I love the sound of that.
Injured is
Right.
Two different things. At that moment, he picked off probably 40% of what Dolan Shaw's power capabilities would be in a match. I want to see what he can do when I come 100.
I think all the fans want to see that too. A real clash of two guys that are ready for a fight. I think we all want to see that and see who can stand tall.
I just hope he knows that when it comes to fighting, that's all I've done my whole life growing up. I've always been a smaller guy, so I've always had to fight my way, scratch and claw to get to where I am. He's got a little bit of size on me, but that don't matter because at the end of the day, I'm here for a fight. And it doesn't matter how big the fight is and the dog is in the fight. It matters how big the fight is in the dog.
That's right.
And I mean, when it comes down to the ring, I got that Lions mentality. The lion's not the biggest, not the fastest. It don't even have the strongest bite. But when a lion wants to do what it needs to do, it doesn't. That's why they call the lion the king of the jungle.
Oh yeah. And I know you mentioned that you're kind of pitching the stuff with AWF. That's mainly who you've wrestled for. Are there other promotions out there that you have your eye on that you kind of want to go towards? Like, is there certain states that you want to be in? Like, what's your goal outside of AWF?
Right now, I have a lot going on. Obviously, focusing on recapping my injury.
Mhm.
But after that, I definitely want to get out to Tucson. I've been watching the boys out in Tucson.
Mhm.
They're doing some damage out there. I've definitely seen the damage coming out of FSW and
Out of Vegas.
Vegas. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I've watched a few fellow wrestlers from my academy go out to like Texas. Definitely want to get out.
Texas, and also like Rocky Mountain Pro, out in Colorado, out towards that way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I definitely want to make my way back up to Utah to LLMA. So
Like, yeah.
they definitely.
You have any do you have any dreams of someday returning to your home state of Maine and trying to wrestle out there, or do you think you'll end up staying out in the Southwest?
Well, I haven't exactly. Well, while it would be great to do that, I've looked a little bit. I haven't found very many promotions out there. Most everything out there is like that backyard. Let me put you through a fridge kind of crap. There's no ring. There's no nothing. It's just you and another guy on the grass doing completely untrained stuff.
I love that stuff. What are you talking about? You said crap.
Listen,
I love
it'd be
it.
fun until you're the one going through the fridge.
I mean, don't you know me and Carl were big death match guys, man. We love that shit.
Get a death match and some drunk retard rolling around in the backyard.
Hey,
Usually I'm the drunk.
well, hopefully something springs up for you then that'll, maybe be able to make that be a real thing for you, not something in the backyard, but instead something in a legitimate ring in front of a sizable crowd. I think that'd be super cool to be able to, kind of do that. But it sounds like you have a lot of really cool goals around, some cities that you have on your eyes on, some opponents. It sounds like you have a few guys that you're itching to fight as soon as you can. I think that's super sick. I think a lot of the fans are going to think that's super sick. But not all fans are that cool. Some fans, they're holdouts. Like, you know what? This guy seems all right, but, should I really be rooting for this guy? Fans can be fickle. So for those fans that are asking for more, what is the pitch for why they should come see you wrestle?
I can only put it in this kind of light. When I get in the ring, I don't get in the ring to be better than the guy across the ring from me. I get in the ring because when I step through the ropes, everything outside the ropes is it's all quiet. I find that peace of mind through the intensity and chaos. I'm that guy that strives through the intensity and the chaos. When I get in that ring, I am there to show the person across the ring, as well as every man, woman, and child in their seat, exactly what I'm capable of, exactly what I'm here to do, and show that no matter where you come from or what you came up from, you can be one of the greats if you push yourself and have that inspiring mindset that is to be confident in yourself, but not cocky. I want to show that I can get in there with the confidence enough to fight giants like the Monster of Pain, or go one-on-one with some of the quick speedsters like Lorenzo. Whether it's intensity, whether it's power, whether it's 1-on-5, whether it's a six-pack challenge, or Royal Rumble, or WrestleMania, I want to show that I am there because I belong there. I am there to give my best and give my all, so that everybody watching at home, so that everybody sitting in their seats, front row, they have a good time, and they see someone who is passionate and cares about what they do in that ring.
Heck yeah.
I love everything I do in that ring. That ring is home to me.
You've got me fired up. I love this.
Yeah.
I'm like, when is this guy ready? When's this guy gonna be healthy again? I want to see this guy kick someone's ass. That's freaking awesome, man.
yeah.
That's
Kind of
so
like
cool.
my hat says, guns, guts, and glory is what made America.
Guns, guts, and glory.
Is what made Dolan Shaw.
Hell yeah.
We know you got plenty of guts, that's for sure. Man, I love it.
I can guarantee I'll jump over that top rope again. Just give me time.
Oh yeah. Well, guys, that's it for our podcast. I do want to give a shout out and say thank you again, Dolan Shaw, for coming on the show, man.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure being here.
Oh yeah, bro. And guys, also remind you to drink Doobie. It's fantastic. Also, if you use our code across the ring, it's on our Instagram. you'll get
10% off.
10% off. That's right. Save you 10%. Guys, I also remind you, if you want to follow Dolan Shaw on Instagram, it's Dolan.Shaw97. Okay, and
Follow.
that's right. Come follow. And I want to remind you guys to also follow us on Instagram if you aren't already. We're at Across the Ring, one word. We also have another show that we do called Wrestling Carpool Karaoke. Hopefully when I go up to Milwaukee to see my boy Carl, I'll get him set up and he'll be getting some episodes on there, so that'd be great as well. I know there's some people pining to do some Wrestling Carpool Karaoke. But I also want to remind you guys to watch the show. If you haven't watched the previous shows, check them out. We're on all social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. We're also on
You name it, we're on it.
yeah, pretty much Instagram, Apple, all that shit. Anyways, guys, and I just want to remind you guys have a great day, and you never know.